So we started our core data services concept, and this is also one of the top-down approach, that is code to data paradigm. And we also saw CDS is nothing but an open SQL extension where we can define tables, perform some manipulation. We can go for DQL, DEL, and DCL. Here we are mainly going to use annotation, and every annotation has some functionality inbuilt, which is going to trigger because of that. CDS view is highly used comparing to DDIC view. The reason is CDS view are the consumption of the CDS view takes place on the database layer, and it supports a vast number of joins, aggregation, functionalities, and all other things. Correct. Then when we create a CDS view, a HANA view is also getting generated deep inside HANA, right? So that's the thing we discussed, and we created a very basic CDS view over materials. Now let's continue and see this taking input in CDS view. How we can take input from the user. Yeah, let's start from here. Guys, these concepts are very, very important. Please focus it and try to learn as much as possible. So we can also take input from the user inside the CDS view by using parameters keyword. By using parameters keyword. And here we go for dollar parameters basically. Dollar parameters. So let me just show you this. I will open the system. And I will simply close all. Then let's create one data definition for us. New other ABAP repository, data definition. And I will go for a CDS view here. So the CDS parameters, taking input in parameters for CDS. I will go for next, transport request. And as usual, my basic view and finish it. Right. So this is my CDS. A SQL view must be generated. So I will pass here predict 17. 17 will be the 18. This is going to be my SE11 view. And here I will select the select source. So my Mara table as usual. And I am using here aliases. So material number, material number, industry sector, medical, material group, and we can have unit of measure. So unit of measure. This is one of the deprecated annotation. We don't need it. We can remove it directly. And here we can use my P. I will also use medical and the RSH material type. So material type. Suppose there is 5 fields I am using. This is the very first basic CDS view which we have already created in our last session. So I will activate the same. Let's activate the CDS view. And let's check it. So run as ABAP application. This is my CDS view. And I told you already, whatever name we are passing here as a alias, it will become the column label, right? Now the question is how we are going to take input from the user. So we are going to use $parameters keyword. What we are going to do, we will be using $parameters. So if I check my table here, if I'm directly opening the table, let me just show you. If I am going for Mara table, here we have material number as the primary key, correct? So I can just take it with parameters p underscore material number. Let's say I'm giving the name p matner for my input, and I will give the data element. So matner. You can take any number of input directly to the CDS view. Now, if you check by default, Eclipse is giving the issue here. The parameter p matner is not used. So after once this curly braces is completed, you will be using where condition. The material number is equal to $parameters, my input name. So p underscore matner. This is the input. Now, if I activate it and if I execute it, see, run as a ABAP application or open with data preview, system is going to ask one input. System is going to ask one input from us. So we can simply check the whatever input we want to pass. This is one my material number EWMS4-01. I will be using the same EWMS4-01 and open data preview. See, material type Hava, industry sector M, L001 material group, and unit of nature is ST here. Correct? These are the things available. This is my CDS view, a very basic CDS view with taking input. Correct? Is it okay?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it okay, right? We can use it to take input. Now, if I say I want to consume it in a ABAP program, how does this input parameter will work? So let's see this. I will create a ABAP program here. ABAP program consume CDS. We'll give a short description. Consume CDS. Next, and our request. So now we can simply use the select column here. So select star from my CDS view name. So the CDS underscore parameter and into table at the rate data LTCDS. Now we can simply call the CL demo output. So output display method, and we can simply pass the input LTCDS. So now if you see here, automatically the system is giving the issue. Check it. The input parameter P matner was not bound. You have not given any value because here this CDS view is expecting one input parameter. So that is why it is mandatory inside the program also. So I will create one parameter which I am going to take input. I matner, type material number. And this inside this you are going to simply send it. So P matner is equal to at the rate I matner. This is how you are going to pass the importing parameters. If you have multiple ones, if you have multiple parameters here, let's say I want multiple, I can give here a comma. So P, let's say material type will be there. And we can have a AND condition. So AND material type is equal to dollar parameter CMPART. Multiple ones. So now if I activate it, and if you go and check, it will ask for two inputs. So EWMS4-01, and there will be the material type Hava, and check output. So two it is asking. Here now it will give the issue. If you check, see, it is saying PMTRT was not bound. So we are required to pass the second one. PMTART is equal to @IMTART. I will create a new parameter here. So IMTART, type data element, material type. Correct? Now if I activate it, everything is fine, and we can simply run as a ABAP application. Here we can pass the input EWMS4. Here material type is Hava. See? Are we getting it? Correct? Taking input in CDS, right? We are able to take input here inside the CDS views. Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
Everyone is it okay? We can take inputs, right? Multiple inputs also.
Sir, if we want to enter multiple material number, so we have to use select option or what we have to use in C.
That's what you need to understand here. I said it earlier also. Check. Select option is a part of ABAP programming. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ABAP programming. But when we are talking about CDS view, is CDS a ABAP programming? Yes or no? Do you think here we are doing ABAP programming? This is a view,
No,
correct? This is
yes,
a
sir.
single statement. I need to write it here. Need to write it here. I don't think I have written. That's what we need to understand. CDS views will always be executed as a part of a single statement. Just a single statement. First thing, we cannot go for select option in this. Neither we can debug the CDS views. So this is just a single statement. It is meaningless to go for debugging. Here, even you are consuming it in a ABAP program, here you can implement debugger over this query, and you can check what this CDS view is returning into this internal table. That is meaningful. But what is the meaning of debugging a single select statement? Correct? This is just a view. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Right? A view which can perform any task that you are going to give. Again, select option, you can't use it. Select option, we can't go for it. Can't use in a this series. It's okay. It's okay, right? Everyone is okay.
Means we can't display multiple records.
No, 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 no. I did not say you can't display multiple records. You are able to display it, but if you are talking about applying filters,
Okay, only parameters is applicable in CDS
yes, this
views.
is the only way to pass input here.
Okay, got it.
We'll see that. Slowly we'll realize the huge case of CDS view. Okay. I will come to that slowly, gradually on that. Right now, please start learning the things that I am teaching. CDS is a very important functionality. You can implement anything here. Aggregate functions. Aggregate function here. Please understand, select option is something which is a part of ABAP programming. When you talk about native SQL queries, there is no concept of select options. Correct? CDS is just a extension of OpenSQL, so there is no concept of select option here. Aggregate functions, guys. Aggregate functions are mathematical operations. Mathematical operations which are used to calculate a single value from a group of rows within a database table. Yeah. There are mainly 5 aggregate functions. We know this, correct? And these aggregate functions include sum, average, min, max, and count. Sum, average, min, max, and count. So I have one table which we earlier used it also in new ABAP syntax. Now let's use the same stuff by using CDS also. I am going to just use my aggregate table. Let me check the name. Yes, this one. In this, we had records. If you recall, we had records here. 5 employee ID, and for here multiple primary keys are there. So for each employee ID, you see we have different project ID. 2 employee IDs there, 101 and 102. For each one, we have 5 project IDs and 5 amount values. Correct. Now, based on it, let's try to create one CDS first. So I will just create a new CDS, other ABAP repository, data definition, and I will go for ZCDS aggregate functions. Next, and view, finish it. So here I will just pass one view name, Didic 19, and my data source. So this is my table name. I will just copy and paste my table name. Yeah, right. Now, out of which I am selecting my primary key here. So employee ID as employee ID. For each employee ID, I know there are multiple values here, multiple amount values. So very first one, let's implement the aggregate function sum of amount as total sum. Total sum. Now we know for aggregate function, group by clause is mandatory. So for aggregate functions, group by clause is mandatory. Correct? So we are just automatically the Eclipse will give issue. The group by clause is unknown. So here you can simply do group by employee ID. Feature key is not needed. Just remove it. Another important problem. Everyone, please read this. Please read this one. What it is saying.
As reference.
Now, if you recall, whenever we have currency field, CURR fields, automatically we need to pass one reference for each currency field. Here also in the CDS, it is mandatory. Automatically, it will give the issue. When we created our employee table using CDS, we at that time we also passed the annotation. Here we will also do the same. So semantics dot amount dot currency code, and we can just pass the currency code here. So my quantity field, this is my table dot this field. I will refer to that directly. Now it is okay. So we can activate and let's execute it. So run as ABAP application. See, two employee IDs and their sum. So 150,000 and 1,500. So check the table. Check your table here. And just add the values for 101, 40, 50, 90, 120, 140, and 150. Same thing here, 1,500. Two employee IDs. Based on that, we are able to perform this aggregate function. Correct? Right? Yes, correct. We can go for other columns like average of my amount. So as average, we can go for maximum of my amount as max amount. We can go minimum of amount as minimum amount. So here also we need to pass the reference it is asking. We will just do the same, copy and paste. This is the annotation used for passing the reference field. We can go for the last one, count. So count, and here you go for distinct amount value as count amount. Count amount. So now we can activate and we can check all these aggregate functions. To activate it and go for run as ABAP application. See, total 5 values. Maximum, see, minimum is 10,000 and 100 for 102. Maximum 50,000 and 500 for 102. If you check the average, 3 into 10 to power 4, 30,000. So 150 by 5, 30,000 will be the average, and 1,500 by 5. Here you see 300 will be the average. 3 into 10 to power 2. Correct. right? This is the aggregate function you can implement using CDS. And then you can consume it in the same way as you want. Then you can simply consume it in the same way. So now if I write the logic based on it directly, I'll get my desired result. So if I turn it, select a star from, and if I activate it to run as ABAP application, I'm getting the desired results. Right? I'm getting the desired results. And we are able to use it in the same way as it is. Any questions on aggregation? Hmm? Any questions on aggregate
Questions?
functions?
No, sir.
It's okay, correct? Next one, extending CDS views. Third one, extending CDS view. Extending CDS view. All right, tell me this. Suppose I have one table where, let's say, 10 columns are there. And now I want to add few more columns. Few more columns. How will we do that? Or how we do that? How will we do that, guys? What's the general approach for it? What's the general approach for it?
So we have to add in the structure.
Do we go for append structure?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we go for append structure. Here also we can extend our CDS views by adding columns. Then simply extend it. So for example, we just create a CDS. Let me open those. Aggregate. Entity union. CDS. Okay, let's create a new one so that we can understand it. A new data definition. This parameter we have done. Okay, CDS view 22 CDS view and finish. We can pass the SQL view name 20, and here suppose I have Mara table, and I'm taking Matner. So key Matner as material number, and material type. This one. Suppose I have two fields. I will activate and I'm going to execute it. So run as ABAP application, and it will return all the columns, all the all the values. Suppose I want to add new columns into it without actually disturbing the CDS view. So now what I can do, I can create a extension here. So new data definition, CDS extend. So CDS view. Next, request. And if you check, there is a option of another template here, view extend, and we can just go for extend view and finish it. So you can just pass the append structure, SQL view name. So view did it 21. And here you can pass the view which you want to extend. This is my view which I want to extend, Z CDS view underscore 22. And now we can simply refer to the data source name dot column name. So my Mara is the data source, Mara dot MBRSH as industry sector. It is saying structure was already declared in details extend 11. Yeah, now it is okay. I'm changing the name of it. Let's activate it. So these three columns we have extended. Three columns we have extended. And if you now go inside it and re-execute it, run as ABAP application. See, are we getting all these five columns? Are we getting all these five columns? Correct? So we can extend here. We can extend the CDS view by creating one extension, which will simply add the columns into it. You can all do the same. And just try for the same thing. It's extension. Correct? You can simply extend the CDS views. You can simply implement the CDS views. Fourth point, joins using CDS. Joins using CDS. What is the use of a join? A join condition is used to combine the tables based on a common column so that we can get the common output from multiple tables. So now suppose I want to use it for two different tables. I'm creating one CDS here. New data definition, these CDS joins, CDS view. Next, my view and finish it. I will pass here a DDL view name. So view DDIC 22. Add select here. So I'll remove this annotation. And this will be my, suppose, Mara table. I will implement the inner join. So Mara inner join MAKT on Mara Matner, Mara dot Matner is equal to MAKT dot Matner. MAKT dot Matner. Now we can simply use these columns. So Mara dot Matner as material number. We can use the MAKT also. So MAKT dot Matner as material, suppose. This is the beauty of using aliases. You can go for any number of columns now. You can go for any number of columns. Key MAKT dot SPRS as language key. Material type BRSH as industry sector. Mara dot uh, article we can use material group and unit. So, see this. Two different tables, but I'm using here as a aliases. So now if I activate, and if I execute it, see, see this. We are able to display the duplicate also because we are using them as a alias. System is not treating as its same column. So we can go for joins. We can implement the joins here using the CDS view. Correct? This join, I can consume it in ABAP program also. So if I create a new ABAP program here, ABAP, we consume CDS 02. I can directly open it, Control Shift A, Z consume CDS 02. It's already there. And I'll open the code. And now I'll simply write it, select a star from this Z CDS joins And what's the name? 03. Into table, and I'll store it LT underscore CDS. So now if we activate it, and if we go and try for its run as ABAP application, I will get all these columns. Correct? You will get all these columns. The joins, implementation using CDS view. We can go for multiple joins also. For multiple joins using CDS view also. So here, suppose I want another table. So I can go for another table here, inner join, let's say VBAP. Wait. After the join condition, inner join VBAP on MAKT dot Matner is equal to VBAP dot Matner. And I can add these columns from VBAP also. So VBAP dot Posner as item number, and the VBAP dot Vebling as sales document number. So now if I activate, and if I go back to my program and if I try to call it, language key, sales document number, item number, material type, industry sector, getting column from 3 different tables using the same view. Correct? But with a different alias name. That's the power of CDS view.